Welcome. Bobby? No Bobby. Rich? No Rich. It's just me tonight, baby. You are probably going to get some of the dumbest sports takes that you will ever see in your entire life because I am the bottom of the totem pole dumb, and I'm all by myself tonight. The biggest homer of the show is going solo tonight. Rich is apparently traveling this evening and for the next 2 other weeks. So for 3 weeks, it's no Rich. Bobby got hit by that massive storm down in Massachusetts / Connecticut. No power, 3 kids, angry wife, went to his mother-in-law's house. So tonight, it's just me, baby. So this is either going to go really good or really, really bad. So tonight's show is called The State of Boston Sports because it is the dog days of summer. So there's really not a lot to talk about for sports. So I'm going to touch on every single sport from the Celtics, Red Sox, Bruins, and Patriots. And then from there, we got a guest. We got another guest lined up. We have Stansly Maponga. He's the first Zimbabwe NFL player ever drafted from Africa. So he's going to join us tonight. I have some questions for him. Bobby sent some questions along, so we'll be doing that as well. And as we do the show every time, opening takes. My opening take is this. The NBA draft was last night and tonight, or today, this afternoon, because for some god reason, they put the second round of the NBA draft on, and everyone was waiting, including Bill Simmons. At 55, the Celtics, there was one guy on the board, and Bill Simmons said it best.
This is my dream. The Celtics have the 30th draft pick.
Take Bronny.
Yeah. So here's my case, Rob. Everyone says this draft sucks. Anyone in this draft isn't going to play for them. It'll probably be a stash guy. They're going to have to carry the salary. Why not take Bronny and you basically hold him hostage? Because all these other teams want him,
toxic
right?
At all. Yeah.
No. I'm saying like for the asset. Oh, the Lakers, you want him? Well, we took Bronny. Give us Max Christie. How bad do you want him?
Yeah.
I would say Bronny, the asset at 30 as a trade thing.
Yeah.
Is worth more than anyone they could get there.
It's good to see you won the finals.
Yep.
And
this is our you moment. This is Ben Affleck saying, I just went for Argo to be Batman. We win the title. We're like, now we're taking Bronny James.
So fucking Boston right now. Only a fucking guy from Boston.
Beat us in our last 4 playoff series against them. We're taking your son.
Confetti is coming down.
Yeah.
Jason Tatum is holding his son. My father is next to me. I love him. And you're like, you know what we should do is draft LeBron's fucking son. Just
trying to rip an American family apart. Come play with us, LeBron.
So there it was. At 55, Bronny was still there, but apparently reports are coming out all over the place that anyone that took Bronny, he was not going to play for you. He was going to go to Australia. So the Lakers did their due diligence and said, you know what? You guys do it. He ain't going to play, which the Celtics would be the perfect spot for him because you know what? We just won a championship. Do we really need another player drafted? No. So at 55, at the pick for the Celtics in the second round, I thought for sure they're going to do it. But then lo and behold, they didn't. They took the kid out of Gonzaga. And then the next pick, we got this.
Commissioner Mark Tatum for the Lakers' 55th pick.
With the 55th pick in the 2024 NBA Draft, the Los Angeles Lakers select Bronny James from the University of Southern California.
Jesus Christ. Bron got his wish. He is now playing with his son, who averaged 4 points in college in his freshman year at USC. So, la-ti-da, you guys did a great job upgrading your team that was in the bubble last year, that was in the playoff bubble, playing games rather. And you got Bronny James, who is a 4-point player, not very good, not very athletic. He's not his father. You're just making his father happy and keeping him in LA. So that's all that is. So my opening take is LeBron, once again, is ruining the NBA by getting a stupid son that doesn't even belong in the NBA, drafted in the second round. Just what are we doing? What are we doing, NBA? I can't wait for LeBron to 3 years after this. He's done. I mean, he's going to be 42 at that point. So that's my opening take. So like I said, the show rundown is as follows. It's called the Boston State of Address. Basically, we're going around Boston sports talking, hitting on every single sport like we can, telling you what's going on with the Celtics, Bruins, Red Sox, and Patriots. We also have a guest, Stansly Maponga, the first Zimbabwe player drafted in the NFL. And then we finish the show with Simple as Minds of the Week. This is the show for today, June 27th, live tomorrow, Friday, June 28th. Welcome. And like every show we say, thank you for watching on YouTube. If you're watching, please subscribe, rate, review on YouTube. If you're watching on Facebook, hit that like button, comment. I'll answer your comments tonight because it's just me. So if you have any comments, you want to say something stupid, I look ugly, I look fat. I mean, I won't hear it all night from Rich or Bobby. So please do that. I will answer anything. And if you're watching on X, formerly Twitter, I don't know how to work that, but yeah, do that too. So let's get into it. So the Celtics are on their celebration tour right now. They did their duck boat tour last week. They threw out the first pitch of the Red Sox. And also, since Bobby's not here, Joe Mazzulla stole the show. Joe Mazzulla is the people. He was down there on the streets with the Larry O'Brien trophy, shaking hands, kissing babies, just loving life. I mean, there was a bad PR moment because a lot of Boston bars and fans were upset that they went to Miami instead of staying home and hanging out in Boston because Boston doesn't have better bars than Miami or better nightlife? Maybe, but I mean, you just won an NBA championship. You stay here. But Joe Mazzulla won the whole fucking day. He just was out there loving life. Like I said, shaking hands. This was directed towards Bobby, who's not here tonight, like I said, but Joe Mazzulla was out there. Jason Tatum was out, went to the Boston bars. I saw him doing shots with people. Jaylen Brown, he had a fallen guy from Brewster, which is up in New Hampshire, player that died. He had his jersey, and he had all his teammates on the duck boat with him. That was a beautiful little moment there, tribute from Jaylen Brown. But Porzingis was there partying it up. Dave Portnoy got on the duck boat. I mean, every big Boston media person was out there. They were on a duck boat. It was just lovely to see. But the big news is after Porzingis did that and threw out the first pitch, he did get his surgery. He's going to be out 5 to 6 months, which he's missing the Olympics. He will miss the start of the NBA season. He probably won't be back till January. I say even February after the All-Star break, which is a good thing. We all know Kristaps Porzingis is made of glass. Kristaps Porzingis, if he goes out there and you just need him for that little March, April push, I think we'll be fine without him. I think we did good getting that kid last night. I don't remember, and I don't have it written down, but I think we're going to be fine. Kristaps Porzingis is just a nice piece to have in the long haul. We do know that if he does get hurt, there will be pieces. Relentless says Celtics no more what ifs. Bruins, the NHL is tough. Red Sox in limbo, and Pats restart year one. Yes, that is right. That's what I'm touching on all night tonight by myself because my two co-hosts, one's traveling and one has no power. So, yeah, it's just me, baby. So thank you, AJ, for that. But like I was saying, Porzingis out. Is it a bad thing? No, I think it's a good thing. I think you just rest him up. You don't have to rush him back to start the season. You can start him in February. You can start him back in March. Perfect timing for Porzingis to come back. He is an injury risk. He is not Glass Gordon, but yet he does have that injury bug with him. Every year he gets hurt, so ease him back in. If you don't need him till April, don't play him till April. I mean, this is what you got to do when you're this good and you have this many players on your team that can take the leadership role. Don't even worry about it. I did have the offseason news of O'Shea Brissett up here. He's the first player to test free agency. It sounds like Tatum's Supermax deal is in the books and will be completed by week's end or probably next week. And Derek White is going to be signed. Do you guys like this? I fucking love it. I love the Tatum. Obviously, that was coming. Tatum was going to get his. But the Derek White thing, if you can get him to sign and not test free agency because he is that gritty player. Fans love him. He is Boston's favorite son right now because he is just one of us. He goes out there. He doesn't need the limelight. He just goes out, loses some teeth. Doesn't matter. All I want to do is win a goddamn championship and play my ass off. And he did that. And I think he should be rewarded. And if we can get him here and not have him test free agency, that would be a perfect thing because I think he could get a bag out on the open market. I mean, obviously he was in San Antonio during the dark days. I mean, you did have a good coach in Popovich, but then again, you weren't what you're getting up here in Boston. You were like the star. You see him in the Sam Adams commercials. You see him in Cumbie's commercials. He is just that guy that all Bostonians love, all of New England love. So if we can get Derek White, that vital piece to, I think, the championship, he is that guy. He is him. Please, by all means, sign him. Don't let him test free agency. O'Shea Brissett, is that a big deal? No. That's not a big deal at all. I don't think so. I think O'Shea Brissett trying to get some more money. I mean, might as well go test free agency. I think we are pretty much locked in with what we have. I think O'Shea Brissett would probably be one of those flex players that goes to Maine Comes back down here, back and forth, depending on who's injured and who's not. So I think that if he tests free agency, hopefully he can get a good deal. But I don't think his time here in Boston is up. So I think it's time for him to move on. And then the draft is over. The Bill Simmons clip that I played, I wish we would have done it, but it sounds like the Lakers had a gun to everyone's head, figuratively, of course, saying if you draft Bronny, he's not going to play. He's going to go to Australia. And so the Lakers got what they wanted, and LeBron continues to ruin the NBA, like I've always said. So, yes, not Bruins, the Celtics are still doing their victory lap. Where we'll see them next, probably at Gillette during the first home game for the Patriots. So, catch that out. Let's move on to the Patriots. Speaking of the Patriots, Drake May is moving up the depth chart, in my opinion. Everything, all accounts, all the beat guys are saying he's looking great. Do you think he's having a stellar? Do you think if he has a stellar training camp, he could be quarterback number 1 to start the season against the Bengals? No. Even if he does have a stellar training camp, I think no matter what, I think Jacoby Brissett is the guy going forward. I think he's the binky. He's the safety blanket. He's going to be the guy that they just throw out there. You still don't have a left tackle. You still don't have a wide receiver 1. Your cornerback situation is a little messy still. I mean, this is year 1, like AJ put on his post that I put out there. This is year 1. You're starting all over again. No need to rush it. You saw what you did with Mac Jones. You rushed him out there. You put him out there, and basically he couldn't handle it. So why don't we just take this a little slower, put Drake May out there, let him just, ease in, learn the playbook. Maybe by mid-year, week 9, week 10, whatever, then you can see him out there. But right now, I think no matter how stellar he looks, I think it's Jacoby Brissett's job unless he gets injured. It is currently June 27th, as I just said in the opening segment. The Patriots sit atop the league with cap space of $40+ million, and we still don't have a left tackle, like I said, a number 1 wide receiver, or a cornerback number 2. My question is, what are we waiting for, folks? I mean, June 1st left, came and gone. There's been talks about Brandon Ayuk coming over here from San Francisco, like via trade. What are we waiting for? I mean, training camp is less than a month away. So you kind of want to get your gears in motion and trying to get like what your starting 11 is going to look like on the offensive side of the ball. You have the most cap money to spend. Why aren't we spending it? What are we saving it for? The video screen has already been bought and paid for, I think, by the taxpayers down in Massachusetts. So I don't understand what Bill, wow, it's just 20 years of saying Bill. Was Robert Kraft and Gerard Mayo waiting for? Let's just, Elliott Wolf, identify what you need, which I just said, a left tackle and a wide receiver 1. Go get those guys, because if you don't get a left tackle, you're going to see probably Drake May or Bailey Zappi out there, because Jacoby Brissett's going to get hurt, and then Bailey Zappi might get hurt. So then you may see Drake May out there. If you don't have a left tackle, you're doomed. So you got to start addressing the needs of this team, and I think the left tackle is number 1. The wide receiver can wait, because I don't think Drake May is going to be out there. I think this is going to be a 4 or 5 win team. Not a big deal. This is a building block number 1. So if you don't have that wide receiver 1, it's fine. Just go get a left tackle of the future so you can have this guy for when Drake May is ready to go. And so Jacoby Brissett doesn't die out there. And we didn't touch it on last week, but Ramondre Stevenson got paid a 4-year, $36 million extension, $17 million guaranteed, and he is now the 6th highest paid running back in the league. Yay or nay on this contract? And obviously, this is a big fuck you to Bill, because Bill just used and abused these running backs. He would basically run them till their rookie deal was done, and then on to the next one. So this is a big signing for the Patriots front office, bringing in Ramondre for a new deal. 6 highest paid now. I like the deal because basically this is going to be a run-oriented team. They've said it in the offseason that, especially from the Cleveland side of things, that's how they did things over there. They were run. Alex Van Pelt loves to run the ball. He had Nick Chubb. Is Ramondre Stevenson like Nick Chubb? No. But I see what they're doing here. I see their philosophy. But again, like my last point, you don't have your left tackle. What are you going to do there? I mean, is that offensive line going to be strong enough for Ramondre Stevenson to get through the holes? Probably not. So you still need to address that. So the $36 million, $17 million guaranteed, cool, you paid him, but is it a need? No, you still need that left tackle and wide receiver 1. So I don't know what the Patriots are doing. I don't know if they're just trying to say, we're not Bill Belichick. This is not the Bill Belichick regime, so we're going to start doing things differently here. And it's starting to show a little bit. And I don't know. I don't know if I like that. I wish they would have got their other ducks taken care of before they took care of Ramondre. And what's the best storyline going into camp? who the hell is going to be wide receiver 1? If you don't go out there and get Brandon Ayuk, who is going to be your star guy? It sounds like Juju Smith-Schuster's on the chopping block. It sounds like that would be Bourne, maybe. I honestly couldn't tell you. I mean, the wide receivers that they drafted, maybe someone might have a stellar camp, but maybe that's the biggest storyline going into the camp, the wide receivers, because who the fuck's going to step up and be Jacoby Brissett's number 1? So moving on to the Bruins now. Bruins trade Linus Allmark. Big news broke this week when the Bruins sent goaltender Linus Allmark and his contract of $5 million a year to the Ottawa Senators. Our text exchange was going back and forth. Rich and Bill were arguing. I was at work. I came back, 35 missed text. It was those two fucking going back and forth. Bill is on the side of the Bruins' hands were tied with Allmark with his no trade clause, while Rich was saying this deal is dumb since your return was Mark. I'm going to butcher these because I'm not a big hockey guy, so here you go. Mark Kastelek and goalie Jonas Corposello and a first-round draft pick, which was previously owned by you, but now you got it back 25th overall. So my question is this good or is this bad? This is good in a way that you can't start 2 starting goalies. Obviously, having Jeremy Swayman and Allmark is very good, but you can't have both of them in the postseason, which we saw. That was a big fucking problem. So it's nice that you got rid of one. The big thing is now, are you going to sign Jeremy Swayman? Because he is a restricted free agent. So is he going to be your starting goaltender? Or is this Corporacella kid going to be it? Or this kid from the Providence Bruins? Couldn't tell you. Bill could if he was here, but I couldn't tell you. So what are you going to do there? So now the Bruins have a big question mark at goaltender. As you can see, it doesn't really matter who your goaltender is. It's just as long as that guy's hot when it goes into playoff time. I mean, Swayman played great, but he wasn't winning you games out there or losing you games. So it doesn't really matter. I think the Allmark, you should have got a better return. I think Rich is right and Bill's right. Basically, your hands were tied. Allmark had his destination. He could go wherever he wanted to because he had no trade clause. Ottawa gave you the deal. Was it a good deal? Not really, because you got really nothing in return. I think Corporacinco is, or whatever his name is, Corporacello is like the 55th ranked goalie. This forward's the bottom 6 forward. You get a first round pick. That's pretty much the big one. So other than that, it's not a really great deal. So both of those guys are right, but none of them would say that because they like to fight each other and argue. So that's where I'm going with that. The Bruins' other goalie got burned last offseason, like I was saying, from arbitration, Jeremy Swayman. He is now a restricted free agent. If the Bruins lose both goalies, is this a red flag for the Bees, or is it freeing up cap space to go get a vital piece in return? I think it's a vital piece to go get in return. If you lose Swayman, so be it. I mean, you guys spent, or the Bruins spent a lot of money, a lot of meaningless money out there on the 2 goaltenders that you can't play during the game. You can't put both goaltenders out there for a game. So you had about $10 million locked up between both goaltenders a year. So it's great that they're one at least gone. If both go, so be it. I mean, I think the Bruins are pretty good at replacing goaltenders. So we'll see what happens there. Let's see. AJ has, I got a Red Sox take for when the time comes. Well, AJ, the time is now. Let's talk about the Red Sox. And I question, are they good? Let me get rid of that. So when he does post, I can put that in. The Red Sox sit at 43 and 37. They would hold the last wild card spot. Should they be buyers or sellers at the deadline is my question. And as I wait for AJ to come back with his take, I think they should be buyers. I mean, you're holding a lot. Everyone thought this team was going to be bad, like bad, like have the worst season in Red Sox history. They're fighting for a wild card spot. Obviously, they're doing whatever they can, but here we go. Excuse me while I put AJ's up. They're stuck in mid-tier, but better than expectations. Yes, that's what I was just saying. I'm by my webcam if you need me. Well, AJ, how about this? I'm going to interview Stansly, and then I'll come back to the Red Sox. Does that sound like a plan? If that sounds like a plan, just give me a little thing in the comments, and I will definitely do that. And shoot me your email address at simplemindsportshow@gmail.com. But yeah, like I was saying, I'll do a quick little thing, and then we'll have AJ come on after that. I don't think they're going to be buyers. I don't think they're going to be sellers. I think they're going to do what they did last time. And yes, I do have your info, and I will send it to you, AJ. Perfect. After Stansly, I'll come back to the Red Sox. So my thing is, I don't think they're going to do either. I think they're going to be one of these teams that just sit on their hands and do nothing. So is that a good thing? No. Is that a bad thing? No. but that's the new John Henry way. So I think that's what's going to end up happening. The rotation has been good, but obviously that's a starting point for this team where you could get more help. Obviously, pitching, you can always get more help with pitching. Can you go out there? That's where I think they should start with pitching. Hopefully AJ has a counterpoint to this or whatever when we talk, but that's where I'm going with that. I think a big bat other than Devers would be a great another avenue to look at. And obviously shortstop. I mean, the Trevor Story experience did not work out, did not pan out. He is Glass Gordon 2.0. So yeah, I think it's one of those things that, I think the Red Sox are just going to stand there, sit on their hands. John Henry is going to be John Henry, and we're going to have that. So the Red Sox are just going to keep fighting and keep doing everything they need to do to just be average. Get fans in the seat, sell out Fenway Park, because that's the big thing. We've always said it on the show. John Henry, the only way he sells his team is if people stop going. When I went there, I think it was last year or the year before. I think it was the year before. My wife took me for my birthday to go to a Red Sox game. Great time, but it was bombarded by Mets fans. Mets fans took over that place. And it's just crazy because you know what? They're always going to have a sellout. It's one of the smaller stadiums in the MLB. So what's going to happen is this. You're just going to have sellout. And John Henry's going to say, hey, people keep coming. People keep buying tickets. People go to the souvenir stands. People are buying everything they want. Then you got the Red Sox Nation who just will live and die. There's a woman that I work with. They call her Red Sox Rebecca. Loves the team. She travels. She has season tickets. No matter what, how bad that product is, she's still going to go. And that's what's going to happen. You have these fans that are just diehards. They're no matter what will continue to go. So until something happens where John Henry is losing money, it's just going to be the average Red Sox. They're not going to go out there and spend, as you heard in his interview over in the British Financial Times or whatever the hell it was. He doesn't care. He thinks that Red Sox fans are, overly excited and think that he should be spending billions of dollars every year on players and, doing this and buying this player and upgrading the stadiums. And yet he has other projects and avenues that he's working on. It's just John Henry being John Henry. It's the rich just being greedy assholes. And at this time, he doesn't care. He doesn't care how the Red Sox do because it's selling out. He doesn't care how Liverpool's doing because, you know what? They're competing. They're not getting relegated over there. They have one of the best players in the world in Salah. The Pittsburgh Penguins, that's another story for another day, but that's probably one of his worst avenues right now because they're in that little weird Sidney Crosby's at that age where, he's getting old and all that stuff. So who knows what he's doing there. But as long as John Henry is still getting his money bags, that's all he cares about right now. So that's where I'm at. We're going to talk more about that after the Stansly Maponga interview when he kicks on with AJ. AJ is going to join me and we'll talk some more Red Sox. I'll have some questions for him. But basically that's it. I mean, that's where we're at. Celtics doing victory parades, doing victory laps around all New England. They're going to be taking the Larry O'Brien trophy wherever they go. Patriots training camp starts in less than a month. There's big storylines coming there. I mean, this is the first year in 20 plus years that Bill Belichick will not be over there running training camps. You got the storyline that I think is going to be a big one. Who's going to be coming out wide receiver one? Are they going to make that trade for Brandon Ayuk? Or are you going to just roll with what you got, what you drafted? Guys from last year, your free agents from that big free agent class a few years ago. I don't think the linebackers or the defense is going to be an issue. I heard Phil Perry talking today on 98.5 how everyone's disrespecting the defense, but defense is good. Defense is still not going to take a step back. Defense is going to be the defense. I think the offense is what's going to be a big change in philosophy with the run with Ramondre Stevenson and that big deal. The Bruins, I mean, last year this past season, we thought the Bruins were going to take a huge step back after being the best team in hockey that past year and then getting eliminated by the Panthers. They got out of the first round this year, but now they're just losing their two goaltenders. I don't think Swayman stays. That's where I'm at with that. The Red Sox, like I just said, are they good? Are they not? I'm actually going to do something real quick. I'm going to invite AJ, if I can figure this out, and talk to you guys at the same time. I'm going to multitask, something I say I can do to my wife, but I really can't. So we'll see what happens there. AJ, I'm not going to say his name over there. But yeah, so we'll see what happens. Other than that, I'm just waiting for Stansly to come on. So now we're going to have some silent time. But if you have any comments, I see there's some people watching. If you have comments, what you think about the Bruins anything. Oh, there it is. I got him now. Hold on. Let's see if I can do this. Yeah, we'll try that. And yeah. So why don't I play a video for you while waiting? No. I can't multitask for shit. Sorry. I had to send that to AJ. So while I wait for Stansly, I just invited AJ on. So hopefully he can come on and we can talk some more Red Sox while waiting for Stansly, who's supposed to be joining me around 8:30. His email has been set, so I'm just waiting for him. But yeah. Any questions you have for AJ? He's the baseball guy. When you see a lot of baseball blogs on our website, simplemindsports.com, it's AJ writing them. He's a big baseball fan. He is a Yankees fan, but yet he still writes about the Red Sox. Here he is. Let's fucking go. Thank God. Another voice. This is going to be nice.
It's been a while.
Hey, it's been really too long. Thank you for hopping on, AJ. And last minute, no less.
You caught me at a good time, too. Damn, I'm just at my desk, bro. How's things?
Things are good, man. How are you? So I have a guest coming on. When he comes on, if you want to talk to him, have at it. Is Stansly Maponga, former Giant, NFL New York Giant. So yeah, if you want to talk, but you wanted to jump on because of the Red Sox. What's your case with the Red Sox right now?
So even Ken Rosenthal has actually said John Henry doesn't realize how smart the fans are. And I think somebody who is a diehard Red Sox fan, now mind you, I try to write all the articles I can for the website as an unbiased thing as possible, but I've said it so many times.
Yeah.
What is the ugly of the Boston Red Sox? His name is John Henry.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things of ugly, and you could say that things have been bad,
Yeah.
but the reason why it actually what kind of stepped off the gas of that is re-signing Devers to that big contract, which was neat.
But you think you needed to do that because you needed to save face after losing Mookie Betts and Xander Bogaerts. You had to keep Devers with all costs, even if he had a high price tag, and rightfully so, he had a high price tag because he was good, but you had to keep him. The front office probably went to John Henry and goes, no matter what he wants, you got to pay this guy.
Granted, not re-sign Bogaerts looks great now.
Of course. But back when it happened, it was a bad look for the Red Sox. You lose Mookie Betts because you wanted to pay both Devers and Bogaerts. You wanted both of those guys here. Lo and behold, he fucking takes off. You know, they don't want to even touch. They don't want to touch his tag. You didn't get anything for him.
Even with the hometown discount, you didn't offer it to him.
Yeah. Oh, they did, but it was so low below the price tag that he wanted. It was like a slap in the face to him, which probably left a sour taste in his mouth. And when the Padres offered that deal, they're just like, yeah, see you later. I'm out. Didn't even give him the rest. It was
probably like 6 years, 150 or something like that.
Yeah, it didn't even touch the threshold that the Padres were talking about. So
wasn't touching 200-ish, no.
No, in which at the time he deserved it. I mean, he was probably the best player that we had on our team. I mean, him and Devers were 1A, 1B. I mean, you really couldn't keep it at that, but at the time, it was a great look for the Red Sox. You keep both of these guys. Okay, you got rid of Betts. We're going to keep both these guys, these homegrown guys, and yet Bogaerts says, nope, peace out. They don't want to offer me anything. So,
I mean, it's one of those things now where you're kind of just looking at it. If there's a move to be made, as in you could think you could get a decent deal about it.
Yep.
One thing I'm actually keeping in mind is if you're going by, I think it's $23.7 million.
Yep.
Next year, that's written off, and that's because it's the sale money and the Justin Turner money.
Yep.
And let's also keep in mind, there's some people that don't know this, but you're still paying Manny and Dustin.
Yeah, which is stupid in my opinion. It's like, how are you still paying these guys?
Everyone jokes about Bonilla. The Red Sox are still paying Manny Ramirez $2 million to be precise.
How long has he been gone from the Red Sox?
Wow. Last time I heard of him, he was in the minor leagues with the Cubs, and this was probably about 10 years ago.
I was gonna say 10 years. I didn't want to sound stupid, but I thought it was 10 years ago that he was on the Red Sox.
Because I remember it was like, hey, the Cubs are in limbo, and that was before that big run. It was like, what the hell are we doing? Are we building something? Is he coaching, or is he gonna be just a guy to sell minor league tickets? It's a crazy thing right now, but I actually had this ludicrous idea, which is quite ironic.
I like ludicrous ideas.
Well, the big name that's actually kind of going on is the free agency in the AL East in the next year or two, and then the trade market. And if you just look at the American League East right now, the Orioles and the Yankees, even though the Yankees are on this skid, every team's going to have 10 blowouts a year. There's going to be at least 1 month of baseball where you look at and you go, Jesus Christ, what am I watching? And that right now is the Yankees, and the Yankee fans, no matter what social media platform you go to, or if you see somebody at work, they're going to say the city down. Thing. What the hell am I watching? Burn it down, fire everybody.
Yeah.
It's just how it goes.
Which they're still in first place. So it's like one of those things where it's
for how long?
Right?
That's a good question.
Well, yeah, but still, you're still in first place.
It's
I mean,
close.
you've turned it around. You need starting pitching. That's what there's a lot of Yankees fans that I work with. And we always say, you guys need starting pitching. You have the bats. You need the starting pitching because your starting pitchers always go down. That's it with all MLB teams. You need starting pitching. So at the trade deadline, if the Red Sox are buyers, I think they should look at the avenue of starting pitching. Regardless how their bullpen or how their pitching rotation is doing right now, you need starting pitching no matter what. So if you can get a good guy for a good deal and get rid of some of this farm pieces, because obviously the farm system, we're building it back up again. But yeah, you have pieces to play with.
Speaking of which, one guy I actually have been very high on the last 2 years, and some people thought I was crazy. Brian Bayo's comparison, in my opinion, is Luis Severino. You have a tall, lanky Dominican pitcher who could win 20 games. He's got the 3-pitch mix that I think he's solid with. It's just a matter of staying healthy. Now, I have no idea what that means. I'm not sure if it's put on some good weight, probably like a good 10 pounds. I have no idea what you do. I mean, you read all these stories like Pedro Martinez goes, I never touch the weight room. I just stretch during my off days, and whatever works. There's some people that, in my opinion, think they're trying too hard and they end up getting hurt. But Brian Bayo is the guy. I think his floor is a number 3 starter, and I think his ceiling could be an ace. But I think the real interesting piece right now is the big talks is Toronto saying, do we blow it up now or do we blow it up next year? Now, the Rays are running dry just simply because not paying people, having your arms be disposable, and your golden boy put him in the 3-hole, well, he's crumbled and he's failed at the spot. So the philosophy, you need a retool, you need a restart. It finally hurt him. It was a matter of when. So now the Red Sox are sliding in, just seeing what they can build off of. If we're going by the holes, I could say pitching because there's never enough pitching. Yeah. But I think it's really driving everybody crazy about the middle infield because Trevor Story, he's been here for 3 years.
Yeah.
He's only played 145 games.
Yeah, believe it or not, he's been here for 3 years. Yeah.
And he's going to be on the books for 3 more years, possibly a 4th, but the 4th-year buyout is $5 million. The way it's looking, there's going to be a buyout. But you got to suck it up for 3 more years. But going to this lucrative deal, because we have prospects on the rise, the prospect I'm thinking of is Marcelo Mayer.
Yep.
And my thought is, would you want to wait with this? Because, again, we got a guy on the book for 3 years. Second base is an issue. There's nothing consistent with it. Would you make a trade for Bo Bichette?
Yes. Why? Because you've already seen Bo Bichette play in the major leagues and you can see what he can do. So I would do it. I would do it in a heartbeat. I don't like the
5-game. What about the 5-hit game against Boston at Fenway Park?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's proven what he can do in the major leagues. Marcelo Mayer has not. He's just this god that what's he gonna do when he comes up? I hate this shit. I'm more of what have you done for me now? Like what can you do in the majors more than the minors? Because all these prospects that you keep and like, oh, wait till he comes up. No, you already can see what Bo Bichette can do. I would fucking trade for him. If you want Marcelo Mayer with him, take him with you. That's all I would say.
I've always said this, especially underneath the Chaim Bloom era.
Yep.
There's a dirty word that starts with P. What is it?
Pawtucket? No.
Prospects.
Prospects. Close enough.
Because I'm just saying, when you're in win now mode,
yeah,
you don't give a shit about prospects.
You shouldn't.
Hey, we need 2 pieces to win the World Series. I want a backup outfielder. I want a bullpen arm to pitch the 7th inning every single time I can. Oh, well, we got prospects.
Yeah.
Nobody cares about the prospects if you're trying to win every single game you can and try and make October.
Because if you miss the playoffs,
where do you want to be in October? You want to be in the golf course, or do you want to be under the lights?
Exactly, under the lights. Because obviously, if you're in the last place, like the Red Sox have been doing in the AL East, do you care what your farm system's doing, or do you care what everyone else is doing in the AL East when 3 of the teams made the playoffs and you're the one one of the 5 that are out of the AL East? You know what I'm saying?
Yes. So I'm just kind of thinking to myself, do you trade Mayer and another prospect to get Bichette? Because I think that'll do it. There's so many people that are just trying to say, oh, for Bo Bichette, here's our ranked prospect. Yeah, but if he's 19, 20 years old and he's not going to be in the majors for another 3-4 years if he stays healthy, then who cares?
Exactly.
Toronto's thinking, let's get this rebuild in 3 years. And I say 3 years because this is the one sport where it's going to take 2-3 years minimum to make a rebuild. You look at some of the other teams like the Twins, it's been taking them 7 or 8. With the Red Sox, they've done rebuilds within 2 years because they've had the tools and the sacrifice, the direction, as well as the payroll.
Yeah.
And now the Orioles. In this, I mean, they just tanked for a few years, got good prospects, and I don't even know what guy they put on the books yet.
No, but I'm saying, but look how long that rebuild took. It's been a while. I mean,
I want to say that took 6 years.
Yeah. So do you think the Red Sox, even as a Yankees fan, do you think the Yankees fans or Red Sox fans would wait 6 years for a good product to come back? I mean, we've been bad for a while now.
The problem with the big markets is I just think that it's even hard in places like Philadelphia.
Oh, yeah. That's a big market.
If you take the 3 markets of New York, Boston, and Philadelphia, not so much Pittsburgh, because Pittsburgh is passionate and as well as patient, which is surprising to me because some of them are arrogant. But if you take those 3 cities, they just do not have patience. No. Anything in Florida, fine. Anything in Los Angeles, they can wait. They just want the glory. They think the big picture.
Because they're not real sports fans.
If you wait longer than 3 years in Philadelphia with any sport, even with the Eagles win the Super Bowl, they calmed down a little bit, to my surprise.
Yeah.
But they still aren't a patient fan base at all.
No.
But for the Red Sox, I'm kind of thinking, if you make that trade for Bichette, and you just figure out arbitration for next year, which I think could be worked out with the money coming off the books from Sale and Turner. That means you keep him for 1 more year and you could reevaluate. So if Trevor Story somehow comes back healthy, you have your infield. Casas isn't going anywhere. Devers isn't going anywhere. The only thing in limbo is if Trevor Story stays healthy, then you can play the prospect pool at second base again.
Yeah.
Because I'm starting to see more and more prospects, and I'm pretty sure you kind of noticed this the last couple of years, dude, but have you noticed that defense in the game has gone lower and lower? There hasn't been guys that have been doing outfield and infield practice. They're worried about saving the arms. They're worried about all this. I mean,
it's nerds, man. It's analytics. It's like, analytics and nerds. They're telling them not to do
analytics, but at the same time, how many times do we see because especially with the short field and left, how many times do you see a left fielder and you're like, make that play at the plate? Oh, he's off by 10 feet. Or how'd you make that bounce in front of the catcher and it skipped and it's behind the dish? The defense is going down. They're not practicing as much as they used to.
Nope.
It's gone terrible. And with that, there's been so many infield prospects that are saying, oh, he can't play shortstop anymore.
Yeah.
Or, oh, maybe he can. Like, for instance, there's been some shortstop trades for Bo Bichette to go to the Dodgers. Except my counterclaim to that is Gavin Lux must be in the trade. And if you're Toronto, you look at this roster with already 2 to 3 second basemen on there, and you're like, what the hell am I going to do with that?
Yeah. Why would you do that?
The DH is clogged like a toilet because you got oldies on that roster.
Yeah.
You got no room for them. So what are you trading them for?
Yeah.
This isn't the NBA where you're just like, hey, kid, what I need you to do is pack your bags. I need you to stay in a hotel room, and we're going to call you within 24 hours. This isn't the NBA. It's baseball.
Yeah.
You get that call, it's like, hey, I need you on that plane tonight.
Yeah. It's crazy. I mean, I want to see Toronto blow it up because they have some good players out there that are just sitting there. They have you got Vlad Guerrero Jr., who came through New Hampshire, where I'm at. Seeing that kid, I mean, he could be marketable anywhere other than Toronto. Put him in, LA. You could put him in Texas. You could put him in Houston. He could be a valuable tool anywhere other than Toronto.
The rumor is they're keeping one or the other.
Okay.
But there's one rumor that scares the daylights out of me. And that is, this actually makes perfect sense too. It's Vladdy going to Houston.
That makes sense. That would make
makes
sense.
Perfect sense. They got the assets, but it scares the daylights out of me.
Oh, they'd be a fucking top team to beat.
Because if you go by that wild card right now, let me pull up MLB real quick, because I know that the Red Sox can essentially make a wild card spot. So
I think they got the last one right now.
So if you go by, no matter what, the first one's going to be between the Orioles and the Yankees.
Correct.
So if we go right now, the top 3 spots, it's Baltimore, Minnesota, and Boston. I think the Royals, I think they could actually gain a little bit of ground. I think Cleveland won't have the pitching, so I think that might fade out.
But does Kansas City have the money?
Bieber went early.
Do you think Kansas City would be buyers at the trade deadline or sellers? Because notoriously they are always sellers because they don't have the cap space or the cap room, rather, not cap room, but the money to spend to get these star people over here. So they usually try to sell and get a lot of farm players to come back and return. And hopefully they pan out and can help them come September or whatever, you know?
I'm half and half on that, just simply because I think the biggest asset now, some people actually believe that they bought heavy this offseason.
Yep.
Now, I don't want to get too political, but it was something that the city of Kansas City was thinking about bringing to their legislature. It included the Royals having a new stadium, the Kansas City Chiefs getting a renovation, and they basically said, yeah, majority denied, wipe your ass with this, because number one, you bastards in Kansas City for the Chiefs want to move.
Yeah.
Might possibly be out of the state. So who wants to give them $300 million if they want to move?
You're a Chiefs fan, correct?
Correct.
Yeah,
I have been since 2004, actually.
Yeah, you were before the Mahomes and all that shit.
My first jersey was Priest Holmes, bro.
Yeah, but the big thing I heard is that they're going to move to Dallas. Dallas is saying, "Come on down." Or not Dallas.
I heard it was the state of Kansas wanted to.
Kansas! I heard Texas. I heard Texas wanted them because Texas wants another team.
I think that was the rumor because they came from Texas during the
back in the day, AFL or whatever. Yeah, they were the Dallas.
But again, Texas people are like, "Oh, more Texas football. We talk out of our ass." Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So I think as far as that goes, now it makes no sense because they're like, "Oh, instead of the suburbs, let's go downtown." Now, my buddy, who is actually, he lives in Nebraska, but he goes to Royals games, and he goes, I don't want to pay for parking downtown and then, walk all the way there, take an Uber there, and then go back and forth. Where it's the opposite, because the rivals, the Chicago White Sox, they want to ditch downtown and go uptown to the suburbs.
Yeah.
And everyone's looking at them, and they're like, Jerry Reinsdorf, who the hell's paying for this?
Yeah.
Nobody wants to pay. Between the Bears and the Chicago White Sox, both combining to be about $5 billion.
Yeah.
There's people in Chicago that are like, screw you. We want to burn the city down because you guys are not worth it.
No. Carolina Panthers just did the same thing. They're getting a huge stadium upgrade. So is in Jacksonville, I guess. They're getting like a futuristic upgrade to their stadium. Both owners could pay for it themselves. They're billionaires, not billionaires, billionaires, and yet they are making taxpayers buy it. They're making taxpayers do it, and it's like, fuck you guys.
So the Jacksonville thing, I wonder how that goes, simply because there's no income tax over there in Florida. But with Jacksonville, that just means the London rumors are being put to rest. You got a 30-year agreement, so that's good. As far as Carolina, well, it's funny because David Tepper has now become officially the worst owner in the NFL. And the fact that when his wife was on the Kay Adams show and said, because Kay's like, what's the proudest thing that you and your husband have accomplished since acquiring the Carolina Panthers? And they were talking about, we had this amount of live events every year, and now we have this many, AKA concerts.
That's all they care about.
So you're an asshole. You talk about performance, but yet your priority is concerts.
Yeah.
Pick one or the other, figure it the fuck out.
Wasn't the Carolina last year you could go on StubHub and buy a ticket for like $2 or something like that? Was that a Carolina Panthers game?
So during that time, actually, I think there's some of them that were actually, there was like a rumor, it was under $10.
I remember
basically
that. Like,
mean that beer and parking was going to be more expensive.
Yeah.
But also, I think one of them was during that, remember that tropical storm that was going on? Like
that's what it was. Yes.
Hey, you wanted $7. Enjoy, you poor bastard.
Yeah.
I'm going to be home on the couch.
Yeah.
Hoping my car don't get swept away.
I mean,
I think that was the game that they won.
They did. It was like 9-3 or something stupid like that. It was it was the tail end of the rainstorm. I remember that. Yeah. Now that you said the tropical storm.
It was one of those games where it should have been canceled almost.
Yep. But yet they
like,
wanted to play.
The baseball games in the playoffs where it would be canceled if it wasn't the postseason. It was one of those.
Correct. It's crazy. It's fucking crazy, man. Yeah. But that's just owners. And it's like full circle moment. Now we can go right back to John Henry because that's what it is. John Henry is that owner who just cares about getting his pockets deeper and deeper.
And he's focusing, it seems like, how much money it costs per win.
Yeah.
Like, how much does a win cost me? Does it cost me under $2 million a win? Then that's okay.
Yeah.
And I understand how the seats are going to fill. People are going to buy beers, everything else. But when we're going by the product on the field, you need to make a certain direction going in. And I feel like we're at this point in time with the Boston Red Sox where they're figuring out what they have. I mean, the catcher position, I think they have figured out.
Yeah.
I think they have their outfield together. And I think Duran, who I think a lot of people were harsh on him, and I can understand it. But how many times have you brought a middle infielder, moved him to center field, and have expected great things to happen? Because if you look all over the league, there's so many people that tried to do it. Ex-Yankee Miguel Andujar, they thought he was only a DH. They put him in left field, and it looked like the guy was kicking the ball as soon as the thing landed on the ground.
Yeah.
Then he made a play with the Oakland A's just recently, which I'm like, wow, only took you like 4 years.
Hey, baby steps. That's all it takes.
You remember when Rob Refsnyder was an infielder for the Yankees?
No.
So, a little background on Rob Refsnyder. So, adopted guy, originally from South Korea, was at some point a college World Series outfielder for Arizona.
Okay.
During the Robinson Cano debacle, his walk year, there was talk about, hey, I think Rob Refsnyder can play second base. It's going to take him a year to get the footwork. When it was that time where the farm system was completely depleted, and they're like, dude, we can't wait. If his bat's good, get his ass here now. And his first professional hit was hitting it out of the park over the Fenway fence. Yes,
over the Green Monster.
The Green Monster.
Over the Green Monster.
That was his first career hit, ironically speaking.
That's crazy.
So, yeah, I don't know what. Then third base was a nightmare, first base, and then it was, we got no room for you, trade for nothing to Toronto. They played the next series. He went around the league a little bit, and now, thankfully, he's got that backup role, and he's always put in the work. He's always been solid to it. Great against lefties. He could play all three outfield positions, and that's why I think he's the fourth outfielder.
Yeah.
But between Duran, Yoshida, and I mean, we know how this all goes here.
Of course.
Whoever you want to put in right, it's going to be a hard task.
Of course.
It just is what it is.
It is what it is.
So the only hole that I'm actually seeing on the team is second base. And then you just got to think about pitching, and no one has enough pitching. But Jensen, I think, is going to be sold at the deadline, so I'm not sure what you want to do there.
Yeah.
So even though you're competing for a wild card spot, Lucas Giolito's hurt. You can't sell him off anymore. Jensen's the only guy I can think of. So you know how sometimes it's just make the best offer available kind of thing?
Yep.
Do you sell Jensen for as best as you can and see if you can get Bo Bichette to play shortstop for a bit?
I mean, I would.
Was there any other trades or any other Red Sox questions that you kind of had off the brain, or
is there any so if you're the GM of the Red Sox and you can get a starting pitcher, who would you look at to help out this rotation?
remember when we talked about the Kansas City Royals, we had all these guys on 1-year deals?
Yep.
If it was just politics and that's the only reason why they went in, I wonder what it would be like to get Seth Lugo.
Okay.
It's because if you look at Seth Lugo, I mean, he was talking about, hey, he's the best American League pitcher right now. He's the first guy to get 9 wins. Currently, if you go by his stats right now, he's 10-2, ERA at 2.29.
What's his contract? Is he on a
I'm
1-year
looking
deal?
at that right now. If we go by salaries, come on, damn it. Okay. So we got another year of control next year for $15 million.
Oh, that'd be perfect.
Let's be honest. That's nothing for elite starting pitching.
No, but the Red Sox
And
would
then
love that
there's a
because they
15
can rent them. It's a
And
rental
then
fee.
the following year, 2026, it's another player option for $15 million.
Yeah.
So I think that's very team friendly. So I'm not sure what you have to give up, but it looks good for me.
I would do it. I'd do it in a heartbeat. So you're all about infield more than pitching right now at the deadline.
I'm just looking at the options available, and it just seems that every single rental guy now, Seth Lugo and Bo Bichette are future builds, not necessarily rentals.
Yes.
But if you look at the rental pieces, I thought the biggest one was going to be Shane Bieber, and I'm like, where's this guy going to go? Because of course Cleveland isn't going to pay him.
No.
Tommy John. So someone's going to pay him next year to rehab.
Yeah.
So with all these guys hurt, I'm looking at these guys and I'm going, okay. It's also a little bit different in this division because you're going, okay, let's say you're the Mets or you're the Braves and you're like, who do you think we can tinker with to go through these lineups to see if we could get a spot? Versus when you're in the AL East, if you're the Boston Red Sox, you go at this pitcher candidate and you go, do I like him pitching against the Yankees in the Bronx?
Yeah.
Not always a yes.
No.
You know, before Baltimore altered the ballpark, do I like this guy against Baltimore with Gunnar Henderson hot? Well, at the moment, you're probably going no for most guys.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So it is going to be interesting for the rest of the season for the AL East because it is, I mean, it's going to be a race between the Yankees and Orioles. So AJ, I'm going to start ending the show. So thank you very much for hopping on. AJ, you're going to come on again because the Sox season is going to be one fun thing to watch here in Boston because it's the only thing to watch right now. But they are making a run for it. So AJ, thank you for coming on. Go ahead.
Absolutely. So as far as Red Sox fans go, we said it for the last 2 years. You're waiting for football to start.
Exactly.
You're waiting for the trade deadlines. You're going by everything. And some people are saying, screw this, I'm watching golf, which that's a lot to say during the summer. I'm not watching baseball, I'm watching golf.
Exactly.
But this year, there's optimism. There's players to watch. There's things to look out for. And for a Boston fan, the last 3 years, it feels like there's a little bit of hope.
Yeah.
But at the other side of the coin, I feel like there's a little bit of, I feel like I'm in limbo.
Yeah.
I don't know what John Henry is going to be doing to his pawns for the GMs and the executives, but I think there's moves to be made. And I feel like there's a little forward progress that could be there. Now, can he pull the trigger? We'll find out because I'm going to be cooking some articles soon.
Perfect. And maybe after 4th of July, we'll have you back on regularly and we can have you do a little Red Sox piece, especially with Rich, because Rich is a big diehard Red Sox fan. So it'd be good for you guys to go out.
I also know he's a hard ass too, and he's kind of setting his ways on his takes. Oh boy. I know he's a little hard headed, but he means well. And at the same time, with his Sox, he doesn't like bullshit.
Well, try dealing with that for 35 years. So it comes to an end once in a while. And you just go, you're right, Rich.
Pain.
You're right. You're right. You just say you're right because you just want to be like, yep, I don't want to do this anymore. You're right, Rich. It's been like that for 35
I've been a little half and half on that.
Yeah. Oh, no. It's hard to fight back like when you don't really know him. Like, obviously, in this situation, this setting, it's like one of those things. But he means well. He's very set in his ways, and he will never, ever back away from him.
Also, let's be honest. Red Sox fans and just Boston fans in general, you've had it good this last 2 decades.
Yeah.
Let's be real.
We've been very, very fortunate for the past 20 years. It's no secret. It's no secret.
I mean, look at the parades, man. Like, there's been some parades I've seen photos of and everything else. It's like, everyone says nobody watches hockey. You go watch the Boston Bruins parade, it looks like the city's in harmony.
Yeah.
The Devils win it all, it looks like the Union's on strike.
Exactly. Everyone, there's like a little bit of a crowd here, go down the street, no one. Crowd here, go down the street, It's one
like
of those
the
things,
freaking
man.
Union's on strike, as my father would tell me.
Exactly, man. AJ, so yeah, absolutely. We have your stuff. Go check out all of AJ's articles on simplemindsports.com. AJ, where else do you write for? You have another blog site?
So currently you're the only guys I'm writing for in and out.
Hell
right
yeah.
now. It's kind of in a slow position. Just focus on work and the family right now, and
Hell yeah, man.
just kind of going from there.
Hell yeah. But when you on, if you want to plug your shit, have at it, man. It's always fun talking to you.
Always a pleasure, boss.
All right, man. Take care.
Take it easy.
Simplest Minds of the Week right after this.
Oh, back to school to prove to Dad that I'm not a fool.
I will say, I don't know if you can tell by looking at me, I do have family members with Down syndrome. It almost got me. I dodged it, but it nicked me. Bit of a day walker myself.
Are you stupid or something? I'm as stupid as a stupid does.
So no Stansly this week. He was messaging me. I believe he just messaged me now, but it doesn't sound like he's going to be making it today, which all good in the hood, as I would say back in my 8th grade years. Let's see. What's up, brother? Is there any way I can reschedule? Yep. So he's moving his mom, so he cannot make it. So Simplest Minds of the Week. Here we go. We have Kelly Stafford, Matt Stafford's wife, taking the first spot.
Imagine being a NFL quarterback and having your wife embarrass you this badly. Matthew Stafford's wife was on a podcast where she admitted to doing something dastardly just so she could get Matthew Stafford to commit to her.
Anyways, long story short, it wasn't that cute of a relationship at first. I hated him. I loved him. I dated the backup to piss him off. Matthew's so sweet and southern gentleman and all that stuff. The backup was the complete opposite.
Yeah. Was that like the pivotal moment in the relationship where he was like, actually, you can't be with him. You need to be with me?
100%.
To make matters worse, Matthew Stafford's backup at the time was Joe Cox, who had the funniest looking ginger buzz cut ever. And I don't know, man, maybe it's a little bit too far, and you could make the argument that it worked, but admitting this on a podcast is insane.
So yeah, that's not a good look. I mean, Matt Stafford, Super Bowl winner, former Detroit Lion, former Georgia Bulldog. His wife goes on a podcast to say, yeah, I tried to make him jealous by fucking his backup. I mean, there's a time and place for that, Kelly, and it's not on a podcast to tell the whole nation that's going to ride this guy now, who are going to make memes of this guy, who's going to run your name in the mud. So Kelly Stafford, first Simplest Mind of the Week. Bad look on you. The second one, I'm a big video game guy. Everyone knows that on this show. Rich makes fun of me. Bobby makes fun of me. Bill used to make fun of me, even though he plays video games. But if you don't know who Dr. Disrespect is, go on TikTok, go on YouTube, you can find him. But he's make the news because he pulled an Apwoods, and I will let them explain.
A former Twitch employee recently took to Twitter to reveal why popular streamer Dr. Disrespect was suddenly banned from the platform in 2020, months after signing a lucrative multi-year deal with them. To keep things YouTube friendly, Dr. Disrespect was allegedly caught doing Drake activities via text on Twitch, and that he was trying to strike a chord and it was probably a minor. Dr. Disrespect responded to this by saying that he did nothing wrong and Twitch ended up paying him his entire contract when he sued them in 2021. Twitch has not responded to this recent chatter, but the game studio that Dr. Disrespect co-founded terminated their relationship.
Yeah, bad look for Dr. Disrespect. He was one of the best streaming guys that you could watch. He was big into Call of Duty. I believe they even made a character after him on Call of Duty because he was so big. But yeah, Dr. Disrespect was apparently messaging underage girls, and it came out and got fired from Twitch. And he had a big deal from Twitch, and now no longer there. So, yeah, Dr. Disrespect lands on the Simplest Minds of the Week list. And finally, our own Boston Celtics, Sam Hauser, makes the list because he did the old puke and rally at the Duck Boat Tour. Sammy Hauser played to win the game. He was drinking his ass off because he is a champion now, and it was hot that day. I mean, it was a beautiful Friday in Boston. The Duck Boat Tour, it was cruising. It was a fast one. So maybe he was going as fast as those duck boats were going because he was pounding those beers, and all of a sudden it just came up. And yeah, and the guy with him, if I'm going to play it again, but look at the guy, because it seems like Sammy Hauser does this more than once. Look, watch the guy next to him. Seems like this is an everyday occurrence for their Sammy Hauser if he's partying. Like he's a puker. I used to be a puker. Fun story. I used to puke a lot. After every night out, we'd go to Strange Brew. We'd go to the Black Brimmer, dance our asses off, have a lot of beers, have a lot of shitty food because there used to be a sausage vendor there. I'd go back to my apartment and I'd puke my fucking brains out every night. It was like clockwork. So maybe Sammy Hauser's like me in the old days. Just he likes to puke and rally and just fucking have a good time. So this has been the Simple Mind Sports Show, the solo show with Dr. Big Neck / Ray. Thank you for joining me. If you watched, if you did, you liked it, subscribe, rate, review. AJ, thank you, God, for fucking coming on and watching at the right time, talking some Red Sox with me. I appreciate it. We'll definitely have you on later on this year. After the 4th of July, obviously, it's a drinking holiday to the Queen. So after that, we'll definitely have you on, talk some more Red Sox with Rich so you can get yelled at, not just me. Thank you. So subscribe, rate, review. Go check out AJ's blogs. Go check out all of our blogs on simplemindsports.com. Thank you for joining us for this episode of the State of the Union, the State of Boston Sports. Catch us next time. Bye-bye.